If you get invited to a free dinner or you're told that you've won a free prize, make sure you know what is being sold before you go to that dinner or accept that prize or that trip. Because I guarantee you that if you've won something, the value of what you've won is directly tied to the value of what they want you to buy or the amount of money they want you to spend. And so if you're winning a fabulous prize, they want you to buy something that's very expensive. Now, there are some wealth management people and some different types of companies that use this tactic. They will offer you a free dinner for an hour of your time, and they give you a very soft sell presentation or basically just introduce themselves or give you some information about living trusts and so forth. Just keep in mind everything that they say is geared towards whatever it is that they're selling, but those are okay. However, make sure that you don't even go if they're trying to sell you a timeshare. I've heard horror stories about people that were basically held hostage for 5 hours because they wouldn't buy the timeshare. And they will give you all kinds of lies and pressure, guilt you, and get you to sign a contract which you will regret. Do not buy a timeshare. Timeshares are always a bad idea. Also, I've heard people, they thought they won a Winnebago back in the 70s when Winnebagoes were really big deals and everybody wanted this big RV to go camping. And they got there and they found out it was a Winnebago air mattress. There was somebody who thought they had won a boat and they got there and it was an inflatable raft. They even lied about what prizes they were going to win. But beyond that, once you get in there, they will promise you the moon. But buried deep in that contract is something that tells you that the company is not bound by anything that the salesman tells you. So basically, the salesman can lie through their teeth. They can make you guarantees and promises and representations about what it is that you're buying and how great it is. And none of that is true. And the company is not responsible, but you are still bound by the contract that you signed to pay for this thing. And it is something that you cannot get out of. You pay for it for the rest of your life. You think you're going to get free vacations, and there's nothing free about it. And a lot of times you even have trouble making the reservations to even use the thing. And these are sold by reputable companies. Like they'll put the name of Wyndham or Marriott Hotels or, something like that on there that you think, oh, this is a very established company, so it must be trustworthy. By selling these timeshares, that is completely separate from the hotel, and that hotel is not responsible for the timeshares. And the timeshares that you buy are something that is basically just a scam. And then I've heard that because so many people regret buying their timeshares, there are companies that advertise they can help you to get out of the timeshares. And it turns out those companies are scams as well. Those companies have a tendency to disappear after about 6 months. They take your money up front, they promise you guarantees, but when it comes time to do something, you can't find the company anymore. The company has gone bankrupt or just disappeared. And so their guarantees mean nothing. They took your money and you've just been victimized again for something that you were trying to get out of that you didn't get out of. So a lot of times people think that they are buying this fabulous vacation getaway. You can make your own reservations when you're ready to go, and you will be much better off just paying for it at the time that you're going to use it, rather than buying a timeshare, paying advance for something that you may never get to use and something that you cannot get out of, and you're paying for year after year after year for the rest of your life. I can't tell you how many people have come to me in the process of getting divorced and say, I do not want the timeshare. Give the timeshare to my spouse. in the division of assets and debts, because a timeshare is a liability. It's not an asset. And nobody wants to keep the timeshare whenever they're dividing up their property at divorce. And whenever it's time to inherit one, if you hear that you've inherited a timeshare from your parents, disclaim it, refuse it, say you don't want it, because you don't want it. It is a liability, not an asset.